Welcome back to video number 2. We're covering actually a couple of topics here in this video, but they all kind of meld together. You know what I'm saying. So let's just jump in and get it, shall we? Let's go. I want to start off this morning by saying thank you for more fabulous birthday cards that arrived from Florida and California and even one from Scotland. And I'll tell you something else that came, this beautiful book, along with these fabulous postcards that were also sent over. I cannot thank you guys enough. You know I love this kind of stuff. It's just fabulous. All right, let's jump into today's story. I have to touch on this story, you guys, because it's coming out that Harry is in such a difficult position because he wants to go back to the UK. You know what they say? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. He hates Windsor. We've heard him say that. He wants out. He wants out of the royal family. But now that he's out, he's regretting his decision. Meghan wants to be a star. She's focused on being a star. She won't let Harry's kids or, their children. I mean, listen, they had the Trooping the Color. Harry wanted them to watch Trooping the Color, it was reported, so that they would have some idea of their heritage. They have to do it on the TV because Meghan will not allow him to take the kids to the UK without her, and she flatly refuses to go back until they get the security. I think that's why Harry is fighting, or one of the reasons why Harry is fighting so hard to try to get the security back. Just as a side note, it's being reported that Meghan refused to let the kids watch Trooping the Color on the TV. I mean, Meghan has really put Harry in a very difficult position because she has publicly stated that she has absolutely no intentions of returning to England. How is he supposed to reestablish a relationship with his family if his own wife and kids can't go over to the UK? It's being reported, but of course we don't know if it's true or not, but it's being reported that the king basically set down some conditions for Harry in order for him to reestablish contact with the family. And one of the conditions is he can never breach the privacy of the royal family again. Let's be honest, he's going to. We've already heard he's getting ready to do The Spare 2, Part 2. I mean, oh my God. And I've told you guys before that I firmly believe the turning point was when Gayle King went on morning news and said, I'm not trying to break news, but Harry spoke to his father and his brother and no headway was made. As soon as that came out of her mouth, that was it. Now, of course, the stories are coming out now that, Harry is homesick and he's looking for a UK residence. Here's the problem with that. How are they going to afford it? They've pretty much already used Diana's inheritance for this $14 million mansion. They have bills coming out the wazoo. They have no money coming in from Spotify. They're saying that they only got $40 million from their Netflix contract. That sounds like so much money until you realize that they need approximately $20 million a year to pay their bills between security, mortgage, even stupid things, power, water, trash, cable, maid, nanny, pool man, lawn care, security, cars, insurance. I mean, all the stuff that has to be paid, they need about $20 million a year. And if their Netflix contract goes bye-bye, they have absolutely no income, none whatsoever. And of course, there's also talk about if Trump wins, they're going to leave the country anyway because they're not going to stay. So I've always said they can't afford it. And now Vanity Fair has come out and said, we can confirm, because they actually called and spoke to somebody, that Harry and Meghan are not looking for a home in the UK. There you go. He may feel nostalgic. He may want to go visit his father. He may want the kids to know their grandfather. He may want all of those things, but they cannot afford another house in the UK. Remember, we found out later on that they weren't even paying for Frogmore. After they paid back for the renovations, they made a deal that they didn't have to pay the rent anymore. Remember that? The problem Harry has, what he doesn't understand, is that he broke trust. He was uninvited from the Duke of Westminster's wedding. He wasn't invited to Trooping the Color. He's on the outs with everybody. And it's just too much for him. He's like, I miss my old life. I want to go back. I have to say, I think Charles is being the bigger person, and let me explain why. Harry was warned under no circumstances to attack Camila. Harry and Meghan's losing Frogmore was because of what Harry wrote about Camila in The Spare. According to sources, Camila has actually been telling Charles that he should keep his distance from Harry, and that is really putting the king in a difficult position. Camila now very much dislikes Harry, doesn't want Charles stressed out while he's undergoing, his cancer treatment, so she's trying to limit their interaction. Charles, in the meantime, still sees Harry as his darling son, but he's very conflicted because, after all, Harry really hurt William and Catherine with all the horrible things that he said. Harry has always resented Camila. We know that. In the Spare, he wrote that he and William, I doubt that's true, but he said he and William both asked Charles not to marry Camila after Diana had passed. Remember, he didn't marry Camila until 9 years later. We all saw how Harry behaved at that wedding, and look at his face here as he's slapping this confetti on Charles. He is angry. Look at Harry's face here. Seriously, that he's just absolutely furious. I don't think he was happy at all about this wedding. He was literally, if that could have been a rock, I think he would have been happier. It's obvious Charles loves Camila. He's always loved Camila. The Queen should have allowed that marriage from the get-go. But as it stands, Camila has been stepping up to the plate in recent months. She's been standing in for Charles. Remember, she's in her 70s. She's working really hard. She's making the rounds with him right now behind the scenes. She's his biggest ally, and she's helping him out at every turn. But I don't think Harry sees that or appreciates that. Now, with all of that, articles like this one comes out that says if Charles decides to invite Harry and Meghan to Balmoral, it could be tricky because the other family members spend their summer holidays at Balmoral. They're saying it's anticipated he will give an invitation. I'm sorry, I don't believe that for 1 second. May I remind you that the Queen invited them repeatedly and Meghan wouldn't go and Harry wouldn't go. May I remind you that Meghan still wants an apology from William and King Charles and Catherine, and there's absolutely no way she's going to swallow her pride. But on the other hand, she doesn't want to appear to be holding a grudge because, she's being criticized over that. She says she needs the children's needs to go first, but she says she can't go to Balmoral. I don't think that there's going to be an invitation. That's just my thought. What Harry doesn't see is that by fighting the royal family, he is literally following in his mother's footsteps, and history is repeating itself. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing. But remember, he's dwelling on all of Diana's struggles. Diana this, Diana that, my mother this, my mother that, my mother fell out with the firm let her down, blah, blah, blah. This woman has been deceased over 25 years, but there's something wrong with Harry. That's all I got to say about that. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and follow me over to video number 3. Let's go.